Okay, well, we'll get started in just a minute.
Since you're late. Mayor has a job for you. Yeah. Oh, traffic?
Very busy. I mean, it's,
Yeah, it's okay.
if you read. And then I'll pick it up here. And are we ready? 6:00. I call to order the Wood Village City Council meeting, July 25th, 2023. We begin our meetings always with a land acknowledgement statement. The Chinookan peoples, known as the Clackamas and Cascades, are the indigenous people of the land now inhabited by the city of Wood Village and other areas of the Columbia River. The village of Nechakli was located near today's Blue Lake Park. Ancestral life of these peoples included seasonal round of resource gathering and stewardship from the Wapato fields and fishing areas of the Columbia River to the cedar and huckleberry gathering areas of the High Cascades. Introduced disease from early settlers dramatically reduced the number of these people. They signed the Willamette Valley Treaty in 1855 with the United States and were forcibly removed to the Grand Ronde Indian Reservation. We thank the descendants of these tribes for being the original stewards and protectors of these lands since immemorial. We also acknowledge the systematic policies of genocide, relocation, and assimilation that still impact many Indigenous and Native American families today. We are honored by the collective work of many Native nations, leaders, and families who are demonstrating resilience, resistance, revitalization, healing, and creativity, and we are honored to be guests upon these lands. Thank you. Would you join us for the Pledge of Allegiance? The Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now, tonight, we have a special recognition, and Greg, I don't see the family.
I don't believe the family is here for it, but we can certainly acknowledge the recognition, and we'll follow up with the family to make sure the certificate is presented to them.
Yeah, thank you. Because I do, this is a young man that graduated from Reynolds High School this past year. And we've learned recently about Jordan Lambert. That is a exceptional, not only an exceptional athlete, but an exceptional individual. In absence of the parents, though, I'm going to turn this certificate over and we'll take a picture with the athletic director from Reynolds, who is here tonight, Ryan Aldridge. So, Mr. Aldridge, thanks for being here. Jordan Lambert was a young man that fortunately had a lot of athletic ability. He was 6'6", had a wingspan longer than his body was tall. And he was a water polo player at Reynolds High School and ended up with a D1 scholarship, Division I college scholarship to that was Pacific University in California. Tremendous accomplishment for any student. Division I athletes coming out of our high schools are few and far between. But more importantly, what Jordan and between conversations Greg Dirks has had with the family and, what I've read and what was been passed on to me, he not only was a great athlete, he was a great kid. He's some of his coaches talked to him and gave him the initial name, the initials, Big FG. Big friendly giant. And he was good with kids. He was a young man that, and I being a former educator, I can see him walking down the halls and having coaches all wanting to come play for them. But one of the things that happened is during COVID, the pools closed and they could no longer swim. Jordan transported himself back and forth between Beaverton and this area to swim with a water polo club in Beaverton. Shortly thereafter, they had a house fire. And the house was partially destroyed, but certainly destroyed that they could not live in it. And they moved to an apartment. During that time, also getting back and forth to school became somewhat of a problem. And Jordan slept in his car at times. He stayed with that. And he found support, obviously, from, I'm sure, staff from Reynolds High School, his family, and others around him. So, as I said, he's a great athlete, but what's even better, a great individual that has really achieved some tremendous goals here. And he's from our East County, and he's from Wood Village. So, if you would, I'm going to take the certificate, and Mr. Aldridge, would you join me? And we're going to get a picture. And we will. Police send it.
We'll get him the photo.
Thanks for being here. Now, we also have tonight several proclamations, and I will start with the proclamation for proclaiming Play Ball Day in Wood Village. And Council President Real Campus, Jairo Real Campus will read that.
Whereas the city of Wood Village and Fairview recognize the importance and need for youth recreation, partnering to create Play East Recreation in 2017. And whereas Play East and the city of Wood Village are hosting our free family fun night, a free MLB play ball clinic, community movie night, and free food in partnership with Friends of Baseball. And whereas we should encourage children to lead a more active life and find joy in being outdoors. And whereas Friends of Baseball is open to all youth and encourages a large and diverse group of participants. And whereas our free family fun night features play ball will broaden children's appreciation for physical activity and help bring families closer together.
Thank you, Counselor. Now, therefore, I, John C. Minor, Mayor of the City of Wood Village, proclaim August 4th, 2023, Play Ball Day, and urge residents of Wood Village to make time and get out and play ball in their neighborhood or local park. Proclaimed and signed and sealed this 25th day of July, 2023 in the City of Wood Village, Oregon. Thank you. In our next proclamation, Counselor Tan, you're going to read that for us, so thank you.
Proclaiming the Vietnamese American heritage and freedom flag in Wood Village. Whereas Vietnamese refugees have proudly resided in the city of Wood Village and surrounding communities since the conclusion of the Vietnam War. Whereas Vietnamese Americans have put forth their full toiling energy building the city of Wood Village and surrounding cities in a multitude of prominent areas, including industry, economy, culture, education, and military service. Whereas Vietnamese Americans have counted on the state of Oregon, USA, as being their second heart, mind, and family homeland. Whereas Vietnamese Americans have embraced Vietnamese customs and traditions that have continually practiced through generations. Whereas a large number of Oregon Vietnamese Americans respectfully embraces the yellow and 3 red striped heritage and freedom flag as a symbol of Vietnamese American community. Whereas it is the will and the desire from the Vietnamese community of Oregon and its community members that the Vietnamese American heritage and freedom flag be recognized as official flag of their organization in the city of Wood Village.
Thank you. Now therefore, I, John C. Minor, Mayor of Wood Village, do hereby recognize the Vietnamese American heritage and freedom flag as the official flag of the Vietnamese Americans in the city of Wood Village. I resolutely encourage all to join the reverent recognition of this cultural Vietnamese heritage and freedom flag. Thank you. And we have members of the Vietnamese and American Heritage Organization, so thank you for being here. All right, our next item on the agenda, citizen comments. Mr. Dirks.
Unless there are people in the audience that have something, nothing came in online or via phone.
Okay. And we have 4 counselors present tonight, and we have 1 counselor virtual. Counselor Amend, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, thank you. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
All
So
right. Hi.
thank you. We have a consent calendar. Do I have a motion on the consent calendar?
I'll move to approve the consent calendar.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are
Aye.
going to take just a short time here to talk about the city events and a debrief on the 25th annual City Night Out we had last Friday.
And we could either do that now or after some of the presentations, depending on what will work best for you all.
You know, that may be, let's do that. Let's go forward here with really a critical topic here. And we have Mitch Snyder, who is working with Wood Village and with Troutdale. And Mitch is here to talk to us about the fire service. And as we all know, we have 3 cities whose intergovernmental agreement goes away in 2025. So each of us are doing our due diligence here, and Mitch is here to help us tonight. So Mitch, no further ado, we're anxious to hear your comments tonight.
Thank you. Mayor Minor, Council President, Rios Campos, and members of the council. My name is Mitch Snyder. Thank you for having me here with you tonight. Just a little refresher about who I am. I have a little over 40 years experience in the fire service. Started as a volunteer, became a professional firefighter, worked my way through the ranks just south of Seattle. Was the city of Kent when I hired on. Now it's called the Puget Sound Regional Fire Authority. And while I was there, we developed a program called FD Cares that adjusted how we responded to a lot of the call types that were overwhelming the response system. From there, I became the fire chief of Gresham, and now I am retired and doing some consulting and working on some other programs. And actually still looking for some work in the fire service, actively pursuing that as well. But here, my understanding is that you want to understand a little bit more about how the fire department works. And so I've prepared some notes to talk about how the fire department was originally designed and built, how it looks today, but more importantly, specifically in your area, what some of your challenges are. I want to talk a little bit about the Safer Council that existed when I was at Gresham, and some of the lessons that we learned from there. But my understanding is that this is a work session, so maybe to be interactive, please at any point interrupt and ask me questions if they should come up. So one of the things that I say about the fire service is everything is a priority. And we confuse ourselves many times in the industry with, is somebody who's having a heart attack a priority over a house that is on fire? And then you ask questions like, well, is there somebody in the house and how many people? And you start trying to prioritize, when in actuality, you want to be prepared to handle both of those if they should happen simultaneously. And so the way the fire service originally started is they were fire only. And so fire departments still today have to be set up and prepared to respond to fires. there's a lot of things that drive that, but they can be local ordinances, they can be state legislative mandates, they can be federal legislative mandates, or they can be national standards. And so you may have heard of the National Fire Protection Association and the national standards. They are not mandates, but they are what drive best practices. And so in there, for example, you'll frequently hear they want departments to try to meet a 4-minute response time. Now, that's not a mandate, but they're saying in municipalities, it's generally where you're going to get your best practice. Now, keep in mind, there are very rural communities that will have 2- and 3-hour response times across their communities. So you can see how much that can vary depending on what's going on.